this is going to be a good story because we ain't quit. It was 2009, asking myself, what are we doing with our life? I cannot provide for my kids. I don't feel like I'm being the husband that I actually checked my life insurance policy to see if suicide was a part of it. Because I realized I was worth a whole lot more dead than alive. The bank account is empty. You learn to get real creative, and you also learn to depend on God.
But when you have that awakening, it's kind of invigorating. Like, dude, look what I went through. Yeah. Would you like to go through that? Oh, no, that's too hard. You can't treat life and business like a job.
Some of you are stuck. You're playing small. Maybe you need to step out and into a new role.
Welcome, everyone, to another podcast of Uncommon Edge. And I have my dear friend, Doug Wood, here. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Dave. I've been looking forward to this.
This is kind of cool.
It is.
It's kind of cool. And again, I think we should probably share how we met.
Yeah.
And again, the power of the network, I'm telling you, it's amazing what happens when you're in the right network. And so it was January. You guys had
December 27th.
Was it right before
Right before the new year, and you came walking in, and I saw those biceps coming like... I'm like, what dude has biceps that big? And so I was just like, who is this guy? And I think it was Ian and Evan.
Yeah.
Introduced us that night.
The Macklin twins.
Yeah. So anyway, we were there at Hive, and man, we had just opened. We actually weren't even open yet. We did that private event.
Right.
You guys came wandering in, and man, I feel like we hang out every single morning somewhere between your 4 a.m. and my 5:45 a.m. and we get to work out, do life, talk, and it's been an honor.
It's been really crazy that you're coming up on a year.
Oh man.
So
I've lived 10 lifetimes. Opening a new business, it's like a lot, as we know.
It's been a lot. Yeah. So we met at Doug's gym, the Hive. And if you don't know where the Hive is or what the Hive is all about, we're going to put links and everything in the bio here so that you guys can find out, because what Doug has built is something unbelievable, okay? And it hasn't just happened overnight. I mean, this is, I don't know, years worth of ideas and thoughts and things like that. So let's go back into the history books, okay? Because it didn't happen all overnight.
Right.
Something led you to this point. And so I want people to kind of know a little bit about your background, where it all started, how did we end up in this chair talking to one another?
Well, probably my most proud accomplishment is being married to my wife for 25 years, because I'm only 47 and Tia's 45, and we got married young, and everybody in our circle said, "You're an idiot. What are you guys doing? You're not going to make it. You guys haven't went out and dated enough people yet and done all the things." And we grew up together, and I tell you what, you know, when you're forced to grow up together and go through hard times together. I got a good woman who was with me when I had literally had nothing. We started to create something, and my ideas, we were quickly in debt our first year of marriage, because my business brain was already thinking, like, at the time I was in furniture stores in Portland, Oregon, and I owned furniture stores, and I got into the furniture business with my dad, and I just went for it. And you quickly realize when you got payroll due on Monday and it is Friday and the bank account is empty, you learn to get real creative, and you also learn to depend on God, because I was just like, oh boy, that's one commitment that I made to myself early on, is that the people working for me will always get paid, even if I don't get paid. And I am proud to say, in 25 years of having hundreds and hundreds of employees, there has never been an employee that's ever been asked to miss a paycheck. I've never been late on a paycheck. And I think that's integrity, doing the right thing first. But those are commitments that we made early on. And, you know, you have to skin your knee a little bit. Everyone needs a good 2008 story. And I call 2008 a get real close with the Lord's time. And I tell you what, you get creative.
Character builder season.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And but I wouldn't be here today without it. And it was 2009 that I found myself 70 pounds overweight, $250,000 in debt, asking myself, what are we doing with our life? I cannot provide for my kids. I don't feel like I'm being the husband that I wanted to be. I wasn't being the dad that I wanted to be. I found myself just doing a job and owning a company. I owned a job. And I'm like, I got to change my ways. And I really wasn't looking actively, but I knew there's not a lot I can control right now in my life, Dave, but I can control what enters my mouth. And so I hired a health coach, and I said, help me get 70 pounds off my body. And I did. And the weight started melting off. And 16, 17 years later, here I am owning a fit club. Like if you ever would have put the word fit and healthy with the name Doug and Wood, they would have never went together.
2007, 8.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be like, what?
I know. But,
Okay, so hold on now. Yeah. We can't go skipping ahead. So 2007, 8. Okay, so what? 2007, you were like, I'm thinking big. I want to do big things. And
2008, I was holding on for dear life. I was meeting with bankruptcy attorneys. I actually was meeting with my life insurance policy to see if, and this is something that I'm very sad about. I wrote about it in my book, but I actually checked my life insurance policy to see if suicide was a part of it because I realized I was worth a whole lot more dead than alive.
Yeah.
And I loved my wife and kids so much that I actually thought more than too many times that I'm proud but also embarrassed to say, if I wasn't here, they could at least have a chance at a whole lot better life. And that's a scary place to come to as a man. But that was 7 and 8-ish. And I realized, I checked that, and I realized there was a clause in there that, I don't even like, it's so weird to even say, that I said the only way out is through. There's no going back. I mean, there's a song about if you're going through hell, keep on going.
Right.
And I was just like, okay, God, I'm doubling down. I've got to get out of this, but I can't keep doing this. And so I started looking for something that was more purposeful. And I've always said, and I've always realized, identify an area, a place of pain in your life and make it your place of reign. And the biggest place of pain was my physical health. Always. I was born 10 and a half pounds, bless my mom. So I came out of the womb big, and I was fighting it my whole high school, college, everything through the years. And I, for the first time, had real success. And I feel like my wife got her husband back, kids got a dad back. And I'm like, I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to helping other men and women get healthy. And that was 2009, and we've been on a course ever since.
Isn't that funny how people don't realize the personal side of the fence, right? When if you put a fence down the middle and like, okay, personal life and then business, work, whatever it is you do, people don't realize how much your personal life affects everything else. And they just think that that's the hand that they're dealt, and it's like, it is what it is, and my, pointing fingers, and this is what happens to me. But when you have that awakening, it's kind of invigorating. Let's face it.
You start accepting broke as normal. You start accepting debt as normal. You start I found myself in my late 20s talking about the good old days. I remember being around a fire with some friends, and I was just like, oh, yeah, remember when. If you're having remember whens in your 20s, your 30s, I think even your 40s, there's so much life ahead, and there's so much possibilities by a couple small incremental changes, and I'm grateful I had made those at 30 years old. But a lot of people are 47, 50, 60. There's still time, folks. There is still time to make that change. I'm glad I did.
There's a lot of time on the clock. And I think, again, that's what happens is people put these expectations or comparison to others and, well, I'm so far behind compared to this other person and look at them. But they don't realize, people probably say that about you. Oh, my God, Doug, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
You got this gym, you got, hot wife and great kids and all this stuff. Like, dude. Look what I went through. Would you like to go through that?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's too hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
When you want to flip, put my
You want the
shoes on.
easy button. Everyone wants the bailout. I thought about leaving Tia sometimes during those early times too when our marriage got hard, and you thinking the grass might be greener and all the stupid guy stuff. And I'm grateful I stayed because I'm still like, T and I were driving this morning on the way to the Hive. Literally, this is like 2 hours ago, and we're literally like, this is going to be a good God story, isn't it? Because we get in comparison of, I know there's probably a lot of people, I don't doubt there's a lot of people watching this that would give anything to trade lives with us.
Sure. But
I don't know if you're willing to do the work that we've done. And I don't mean just the hard work. I'm talking the spiritual work, the internal work, the healing work. But there's a new story written every single day by taking a step forward. And we're just like, oh, this book, what we're going through and the stuff we haven't even put out on social. It's just like, this is going to be a good story because we ain't quitting.
No, it's that intestinal fortitude. Because everyone wants the microwave minute.
Yeah.
Right now, I've been saying to my team and saying it out loud to everyone, we are in a crock pot on simmer.
Yeah.
Stop trying to rush it.
Yeah.
The time will come.
Yeah.
Your time will come. Like, there's so many things that are connected that make us who we are, right? And especially some of the things that you go through. It's like you can look back and go, oh, yeah, that one, that's where that lesson came from. Oh, that one. But when you're in it, it's horrific.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something I want people to understand when you go through these things. Like when it's really hard and you're going, oh, you get a little, Doug, I don't know, man. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this. Doug, hey, take it easy, dude. You got enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to push anymore. Hey, go ahead, take the What do you do when you get a little bit of that chatter, that kind of, it's the whisper. It's like, hey, Doug, what do you find that works for you to get yourself balanced out or back on the right thinking path?
The chatter that we have to make sure we're avoiding is you have to look and see where that chatter is coming from. If it's coming from internal, is it the devil whispering in your ear? Is it from stuff that you're consuming and watching? Are you spending too much time watching sports or listening to things and nothing wrong with sports. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of subliminal messages put into Fox News and CNN and ESPN and the movies you're watching, the content you're consuming on TikTok and Instagram. And again, it's feeding you. Whatever you're stopping and pausing on, it's feeding you more of. I then look and go, who's saying these things? Because a lot of time our loudest critics and a lot of the loudest noise comes from family and friends and then, the people you put content out for. And then I do look and go, would I trade lives with them? I've found that, and you and I were talking about this morning, that the where the noise comes from, typically someone that is growing and on a growth path, they're stronger spiritually than you, they're stronger physically than you, they maybe are more financially successful, are never going to be the negative choice of just take it easy, why are you working so much? And I look at where those messages are coming from, and then I'm like, I need to remove myself from this situation. I need to remove myself from these people. I've actually fired clients. I have fired people from the Hive that were negative to me or to my team, because it's like it's nice to be at a place to where it's just like, no, it's not. You're not taking your business elsewhere. I'm letting you know that it's okay. We're going to go ahead and cancel your membership because it will infect infect your entire team, your entire organization. And so that's something that I've now been disciplined on. But earlier on, it's scary. You don't recognize where the noise is coming from.
Would you have done that 10 years ago?
Couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I had to work through my hard, and I had to keep working when things. See, people usually stop working when things start to get good. They close one or two deals, they get their big first commission check, and then they start living broke at a higher level.
Yes.
And then they're desperate. So they're desperate to actually sell their soul for the next job, or desperate to do business with somebody who maybe, I don't know if they have a good integrity, but they're going to pay me until it becomes costly to who you are. I'm grateful that we pushed so hard from 2015 until about 2023. There was just one lever, and it was down. And I got to places to where I put myself in such a place that I like to say, when God said give, I didn't have to check my bank account. I just was like, saw a need, boom, let's fill it. Also, I saw a need for Scottsdale. I'm like, we want to build out the Hive. I was able to cash flow. I didn't need to go to an investor.
Right.
Because I worked when everyone else was taking the weekends off. I worked on Halloween night. I worked on New Year's Day. Don't get me wrong, I was with my family, but when everyone else was taking a Labor Day, I was actually, I'm going to invest 3 to 4 hours today when everybody else is taking it easy. And I got to a place to where now I can say no to business, just pure out of, I don't want to do business with that person.
See, it's that little extra I call it the upper management time. That's what people don't realize. You can't treat life and business like a job.
Right.
I'm going to clock in. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go and I'm going to go spend family time. Mm-hmm. What? Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. You're clocking in with your family?
Right.
Oh, so that your family then gets the leftovers of this like thing that you have to time block?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
You said something earlier and you were going down a little bit, but I want to bring this up because I don't think people realize this. like you said, what you're putting into your mind between social media, what you're watching, movies and things like that. People need to realize, like, you know, when you do these Netflix binges on some of these crazy movies or series or documentaries, that's that has a lot of negative impact. And something that my wife and I, we've flipped the script a little bit, is we try to only watch true story movies.
Yeah.
Westerns that are true. The Chosen, we overdid that. We burned through that, and guess what? I felt so much. There's like this time when we started watching. It was like every day, every night, every day, and I don't know. It was like a 2 or 3 week time frame. Oh my God, I felt really good. Yeah. And then when we blew through that, and then we were like, "What's our next series?" I noticed a little bit of a mind shift.
Yeah.
Because now we were watching some fictional BS type stuff that, you know, whatever. And I wasn't feeling the same way. Yeah. And that is so important that people need to realize that.
You gotta stay tuned in to the small things. With obviously what you're watching and doing. I remember the first bold move I made when we were so far in debt, and I, for the first time, had the opportunity to. I knew, you know, I had lost weight. I became a coach for the company I'm with now, and I immediately said, you know what, we got to change some things. And I realized how much cable was costing me, and I literally canceled my cable because I wasn't disciplined not to turn it on. And for me, it was just mostly sports. Yeah. But I was addicted to, like, back in the day, like American Idol and all these stupid
you were doing the TV
reality shows
stuff.
The TV, the reality stuff, the keeping up with the Kardashians, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, what you need to be doing is having people keep up with you. Not, you know, who cares about the Kardashians? Right. So no, but I had to, like, cancel that because I didn't have the discipline. So you have to identify an area of your life that you need to cancel, and literally there needs to be a complete like pull away from. Like, you have to cancel that out of your life because of what it's costing you in this season when you want to do big things. You want to keep doing average things or whatever. I mean, you know, you can kind of take it easy and things like that. But I've found that every time I've drastically advanced my health or my life or my marriage or something we've done something forcefully, and it's just like, no, enough. It is time to draw a line in the sand and no more.
You have to do something no different than, and I've been mentally toying around, and Kim was kind of like, really? I'm thinking about doing another 75 hard.
Yeah.
Because it's so drastic. And I want to see, I'm just like, you know, and again, not doing any crazy David Goggins type stuff or any of that. I mean, I have to, you know, those 2 workouts a day and like being a little more methodical. And it's like, do I have enough time for that?
Yeah.
Yes. My morning workout's no problem. It's that afternoon, right? Because we get in our heads, oh, I worked all day and now I got to do this second workout for 45 minutes. Right. It's like, do I have it in me to commit for 75 days? Because I don't like to lose. I definitely don't want to quit out. Oh, hey, Dave, how's the 75 hard going? Right. Oh, well, you know, LaToya brought in a cupcake and I ate a cupcake. You know, it's like I got weak, right? Yeah. And I'm thinking about doing this during the holiday season. But I'm like, should I do it? Should I not do it? And see, that's what we do as human beings. We're talking ourselves in, talking ourselves out. It's like, just do it.
What do average people think do? I was thinking years ago when I started my journey, I was in Oregon. Now I have a partial season tickets to the Suns, like you do.
Yeah.
Years ago, this buddy of mine said, "Hey, do you want to go in on Suns or Blazer tickets? We'll do all 72 games, 82 games, or whatever."
That's a lot of hot dogs.
And bingo. So I literally
That's a lot
thought
of popcorn
about it.
And hot dogs.
He's like, we can get season tickets for like $5,000 for 2, and we can go all games, or I guess it'd be 42 games. And I'm like, no. I said I would rather go to 2 games and sit in the front or down on near the court because I could spend the other 30 games working from home. Even if I'm watching the Blazers in the corner, getting stuff done, I'm not tempted with all the metabolic dysfunction around me. And then, lo and behold, the other night, we're at the Suns game. You're over there courtside. We're over here in the 6th row going, you're like, we go part-time. I'm like, we go part-time. I'm like, because busy people, they don't do what everyone else is doing. And not that going to the Suns and every game would be that bad, but have you earned it? There are like seasons like, if I'm going to go, I want front row. I want access to the good food underneath the locker or next to the locker rooms.
Right.
I want to be having conversations with the other business people, which that's where they're sitting. So, you got to do big time plays when you're going to do, make big time moves.
I agree. Again, if I ate 3 hot dogs a week for how many weeks?
Oh my gosh.
I'd be in a...
And those beers, they give you like gallon-sized beers for like $18.
I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Oh my god,
that'd be a whole other side. Yeah. That'd be a good follow-up podcast. So what happened to you guys?
Well, I got season tickets to the Suns and I sat in the top row.
Yeah, ate a lot of popcorn and hot dogs. Okay, so talk to me about when you opened up the Hive, because we've been close in the sense of like seeing each other in the morning and so on and so forth. Tell us that experience, because, doing brick and mortar in today's world and building something and having a build out like what you guys did was insane.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, our 4,000 square feet here compared to your 25, 30,000, like Doug, I can't even imagine. Okay.
I'm in counseling right now, Dave, from it all.
So, because every detail, it's down to every single little thing. And I need you guys to understand, like, the bathroom, it's not just some little soap dispenser. It's, there's this cute little wooden thing.
Hive soap.
It's just, everything is thought to the smallest.
There's dry shampoo in there for you.
Okay, perfect. I used some Axe this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
But the details and the thought process and getting people on the same bandwagon in terms of your vision, your goal, and then you do the ribbon cutting, you open, to walk us through that piece, and then all of a sudden it's like, month 1, month 2, month 3, it's like, what's that feeling like?
T and I are different cats. We definitely don't go by the standard. Meaning, when we had the idea and the vision of the Hive, we were making the most money doing the least amount of work in our network marketing company we've been a part of for many years and still are to this day. I am so proud of the work we've done. We've helped over 1.5 million people.
Oh, that's huge.
Lose weight and transform their health and completely change their family tree. I was making so much money, just feeling like I needed that new challenge. Deep down inside, we're builders. And so we had this vision, we had memberships all over the city, and I got my TRT here and up here in North Scottsdale for that. And we're driving everywhere, IVs and gyms and saunas and cold plunges. And we had this idea, and I decided years ago, because I got tired of, part of my story too is telling my kids that we can't afford it. I don't like telling my kids I can't afford it. Not that that's bad. I just I don't want them growing up with, we can't afford it, we can't afford it, we can't afford it. Because I've heard other people say that. It's just their kids are going to repeat. My dad told me when I got into the furniture business. I was going to say,
did your dad say that too?
He told me that debt was normal. Because my dad leveraged a lot of debt, which, again, there's a lot of strategy behind it too.
Understood.
But a lot of times it was not good debt. It was like credit card debt.
Yeah.
He's like, just get used. There'll be good seasons and the bad seasons. Debt's completely normal. He also told me that if you can make $100,000 a year or more, that you've made it. Now, again, times were different 25 years ago.
Sure.
But I believed him. And so you begin to set these ceilings and these expectations of normal. So when I went into debt, my dad told me it was normal, so I accepted it. I didn't want to ever tell my girls that we couldn't afford it. And so we just wanted to do nice things. We decided if we're going to fly to New York, let's not get off in Chicago. If you're going to do it right. I want to do everything with excellence. And so when we had this vision of creating the Hive, it was going to be just a gym. And then I'm like, no, we need a coffee and a smoothie shop. And then we just kept going. And again, we're going to do everything with excellence. So we opened up this club. I think by the time we opened, we were $6 million cash invested. And I felt like when we opened up, the doors were just going to be flying off, and like everyone was going to be flooding the place. And we had some good pre-sales. It was mid-January, and I'm like, where's everybody?
Where is everyone? I remember we talked about this.
Nobody knows who you are. I thought a few Instagram ads or whatever would just take off, and I'd have a few influencers in it would take off. And I didn't realize that phase 1 was building it. Phase 2 is actually there's no shortcutting your way to pure culture, and so there's just things that the team needed to go through. I thought we were ready, but there's just things you need to be tested, and it has required a whole nother level of faith in me this past year. But it's caused me to get very creative at a higher level, and to really not sacrifice and compromise who we are. But at the same time, what is your strategic advantage in the marketplace? How are you going to get known? How are you going to meet your ideal client? How are you going to get the word out? And so, I mean, we're at month 10 now. We're about 600-ish members. We're starting to figure out who we are. We're being able to serve a lot more people in our medical division out in the back like that. But man, I don't even remember the person I met you that night. It was a blur from last November until about March. I was just like, I don't even remember that season. I was just like holding on for dear life, praying every day, but also just trying to get super creative. And I just really feel like we're starting to get our legs under us now.
Because I think it was February. It was probably in the morning. We were just like going back and forth. You're like, yeah, we're not where we thought we'd be. Yeah. And then literally like 30, 60 days from there, so that would have been March, April, it seemed like that's when, and again, expectations, right? Mm-hmm. Expectations are sometimes the killer of your ideas, right? Because you have this expectation of, like you said, you thought, hey, grand opening, doors will start going, perfect time, right? I mean, you methodically thought that through. A little grand opening December-ish, and then kick off for the first of the year, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, perfect timing.
Yeah. Got kicked in the face pretty good, but I'm grateful for it now. I'm still grateful to be in the thick of it. And I say the thick of it, we're like, and I'm an open book. I mean, we're literally so close to budget. And I'm like, the team is getting so good. We're getting better. We're delivering a better product, and it's just like T and I joke. It's like it's almost off of our tit. It's like it's finally gonna breathe on its own, maybe. But don't cheapen the process, friends. Don't sacrifice. Don't compromise. And I'm grateful that we haven't, because it's that much sweeter. You also have to realize who shouldn't be on your team. You're going to have to let some people go. Who do you need to hire? What areas are missing? I mean, sitting on the other side of one of these cameras now is someone that I realize I'm like, no, I need to show more of the day-to-day. The ads aren't enough. They need to see the guy behind the screen just talking and how we live our life. And people are buying into who you are. I mean, we're living in such a digitalized world. People want to know that you're the real guy and you're the same guy or girl off camera as you are on, and showing that more personal side is a great way to separate from yourself from the noise, because online everyone's a guru.
Everyone's perfect.
Who are you offline?
Yeah, they're always, it's the best. It's the best shot. It's the best video. It's always the best, right? No one puts the, it's 9:30 at night and you're contemplating, I don't know how we're gonna pull this off. Hey, I just want to let you know I'm super crapped out, and I think I want to give up. Yep. No one shares that piece.
Mm-hmm. And when you do, because I do once in a while, and those are the people that are like, oh my gosh, thank you.
You're human.
I'm like, yeah, we all have the same problems, just with different zeros on the end. I'm like, the zeros I'm praying for right now are just different, but I've been prepared and forged through fire from my zeros from 2008 and then what took place in 2012 and 13. Had we not gone through that, I couldn't go through what we're going through now with. I'm just dealing with millions of dollars, but the guy across the street that's praying for $1,000 today, his desperation and his insecurity is the exact same way. And so half the time I post the stuff on my Instagram to give that guy hope. Like, dude, keep going. I know you're in year 3 of your marriage. Don't quit. It's worth it. Keep powering through, because I wish somebody would have told me more of the story when I was their age. I just had a bunch of pastors and gurus just telling me like, oh, just pray more. I'm like, no, dude, it freaking sucks. Tell me how to actually do it.
I know. Things have changed so much, though. If you think about it, in the last 20, 30 years, if 30 years ago I told someone I have a mentor, I have a coach, they'd be like,
what's wrong?
What, is everything all right?
Yeah.
Now it's
respect. Oh, dude, you're in marriage counseling? Oh, you want to get better? Yeah, we do. Like it's respected to have a real estate coach, a sales coach, a pastor, a financial coach. It's like, oh, you're in the game.
Yeah. Well, and I remember I got sober 19 years ago, and I was embarrassed. And like now it's like, hey, I'm in day 5 of sobriety, and everyone's like, oh, great.
Yep.
Like it's
And if they're not clapping for you, you're in the wrong circle. If people are saying what's wrong,
Yeah.
like, really? Dude, it's no big deal. Like, be very careful if you are in circles with that are saying stuff like that.
how important is your circle? What have you learned about that?
Everything.
Over the years, being like back in the early 2000s
Mm-hmm.
to like now, like when you look back and kind of reflect of who you were running with
Mm-hmm.
and like the people now that you're attracting, that you're running with, like give everybody, because again, younger audience, older, and trust me, the old dogs can learn new tricks. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think this is important because let's talk about that piece of the circle
Well,
of influence.
the
I guess.
first you first have to recognize your frequency. I look at it as like a radio frequency. Man, I listen to the radio a lot, but if you're on the radio station and then you're a little bit off, it starts to get a little bit fuzzy. When you start recognizing things are fuzzy, and the way I look at it is like if you're going to church, you're like, man, it's just, man, people at my church are, my church isn't as welcoming, and gosh, they're always complaining, and gosh, why are they bringing donuts? And you start noticing things that they haven't, and you start to think they've changed. The church hasn't changed. You have either dropped in your frequency and you're becoming that way, or you're growing and they're staying the same. I realized years ago I was sitting around this campfire with some friends, and we were all having a beer. And this is like 16, 17 years ago. I was just starting to change my health, and I was just like, man, why is a conversation like this? Yeah, and I'm like, geez, what's wrong with these guys? My friends are changing, man. I feel like they're kind of losing their way. And I came back home and I was sharing with Tia, and she's like, baby, they haven't changed. You've changed. You're growing. And I knew that was the first time I had a decision to make. Like, are you going to continue? Good guys.
Sure.
Good gals.
Yes.
We watched college football together.
Yes.
We did life together. We played some golf together. But I had to start realizing, like, be very careful once you start to feel like you're growing, because, again, the comfort in me was like a magnet. I wanted to go. Like, those are my boys. I don't have
wanna
that
take
many
them with
friends
you.
growing.
Right.
And you do. You want to
want-
take them with you. And we've probably graduated circles 3 to 4 times in the last 16 years. And it's not that we're better than. It's nothing like that. You just recognize that you've reached a point to where I have done everything I can in this circle, and these people just don't want to change, and they're not on a growth trajectory, and it's going to be lonely leaving again. And one of those big moves was moving from Oregon to Arizona. We had to get out of our state.
Yeah. Have you guys found that it's, as a couple, sometimes it's lonely in that sense of when you are going through these growth spurts, and you're going into that next season, and Kim and I have noticed this. It's like, there's that circle, and then the circle goes away, and then you're kind of like, there's that, you're by yourself, you and her, and because I know at that point, that's where the growth. Have you guys had that experience?
Multiple times, and we're in the middle of it now because we opened Hive not knowing that the city of Scottsdale didn't really know Tia and I. We don't have a ton of, we've had our online businesses. We've never done, we've been living here for 11 years, but opening up Hive was scary because we didn't have a huge network. But we've been in this in between right now, and this sounds like a massive plug for Hive, but you go to Hive and look at our relationship with what's forming with just you and Kim and us.
Right.
The other couples that are within Hive, there's there are my people in this city. They do exist, and they tend to flock to an area that of the like-mindedness, and so we feel it, and we more than anything we guard who we will spend time with, especially if it has to do with our marriage. How does that person speak of their wife? How does that wife speak of their husband? If Tia's got girlfriends, they just get together and drink wine and eat chocolate and talk bad about their husband. She's just like, I'm out. Trust me. Yeah, Doug's got his issues. If anyone knows, Tia knows. But to sit around and badmouth, and then same thing, being on the golf course and guys are disrespecting, talking about their wives or kind of flirting with the cart girl. I'm like, no, I don't do that. Right. So I have to disconnect myself. No, I'm all about joking and having a good time, but there's just a few boundaries that are just not. Once you establish those non-negotiables, life actually gets really easy, black and white. I mean, when you stop drinking, it's just like, I'm done. It kind of changes your circle.
It does. Oh, yeah. That circle goes from where is everyone? Mm-hmm. Where is everybody?
Yeah.
Dave's trying to better himself. Yeah. We're going to distance ourselves. Yeah. So where does faith come into all this? I've heard you mention that a few times.
Yeah.
Where does all that circle in? Have you always, Now, was your upbringing and stuff?
Yeah, I was born and raised. I mean, I was born into a pew at church. Both of my grandfathers were pastors.
No kidding.
Yeah, my dad was a board member at our church, and so I really felt like I met the Lord for myself and experienced who He was, and He became active in my life in high school, and then in through the younger years of when I met T and I. We've definitely walked through our seasons of, I think when you make more money, you know, a lot of people that's never made any money say that, oh, money will change you. No, it defines who you are. If you were a giver, if you were an asshole before you had money, you're just going to be a bigger
10x,
one.
yeah.
You're just going to be a bigger one.
Yeah.
If you were a nice guy and a giver when you didn't have much, you're just going to want to do more. That is true, and I challenge you to test that to find out. So before you go making opinions about others, but we realized that. I was told not to chase money. I was told success is bad. I'm like, what's wrong with money? I mean, they collect it 4 different ways in church. I mean, you can pass the plate, you can give online, you can do. I'm like, what's so bad about it?
When you had $100,000 was your cap.
Oh yeah.
From your dad.
Yeah, and I wanted to give, money's neutral. A $100 bill is neutral. It may have been used to hire a prostitute 3 nights ago, but it can also be used to put food on the table for a family that you want to bless 3 days later. That $100 bill has no emotion.
Yeah.
Has no spirit. We have emotion. We have spirit. So I just realized I can be a whole lot better in this world with more money. I have a big heart, and we always wanted to give. So we just said, I need to make a heck of a lot of money.
Right.
And I've enjoyed that. But I got a lot of flack for it. And so I actually wrote a book 7 years ago called Church Boy to Millionaire. And it is about my journey of coming into my faith, and really where I believe the Christian faith is hung up around money. And I really wrote it for my friends and my family to help them see a different side, and also to talk about some of the secrets of the church that you have to grow up in it to appreciate. But realize, like, hey, nobody can call your own. There's nobody that can call out real estate agents like you. You're one of them. You're my people.
Right.
I love you, but I also know our faults.
Yeah.
Here's the things we don't do. You told me something the other day about making fun, some of these reels that go viral, but like nobody can speak to that except you. I feel like for me, it was my church people. It's like I needed to call my family higher. Like, hey, get on board.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm not throwing out the church just because, people are dumb. We are the church. I'm going to be the church. But I just decided years ago, I'd rather hopefully the fruits of the Spirit and the fruit in my life would show you more of the love of the Lord in my life versus me trying to tell you need God. Well, I've had a lot of people online show up on my Instagram feed saying some pretty fancy stuff, but I'm like,
fancy. I like that.
The energy I'm getting is not. But then the next guy, I'm like, I love getting off a stage and people come up like, are you a Christian? You're a Christian, aren't you? I could tell. Because I said just enough things to actually get in their Cheerios, piss them off a little bit. But actually, I also said some things that were hopefully you would hear and see the love of the Lord shine through the fruit of, some of the things we've done. And so T and I are very open about it. We're open about it in our faith. We understand that being open about our faith costs us money, but I think it also makes us money.
Isn't that crazy at this day and age?
Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
Which part?
That it can cost. It can cost you, just for something that you believe in. You would think that man would get kind of figure things out. As we've gone, and obviously the Bible and some of the things that have happened in the Bible.
Right.
At this day and age, you're kind of like, didn't we learn our lessons?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Charlie Kirk really, I think, had a big effect on all of us. The way he lived his life. I mean, man, when that guy was taken from this life too early, I said to T, I said, I don't know that people would respond about the way I walk with the Lord, the way they talked about Charlie's life. And I said, it made me want to be a better man. Charlie made me want to even take a bolder stance for my faith. And, we get a lot of flack on it. I mean, you can go on the Hive Instagram account every time we post about weights and worship, or some of our reviews is like, oh, it's that religious gym. I'm like, okay, there's a couple quotes on the wall. Like, we don't shove it down nobody's throat, and that's just noise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not like you guys have holy water on the floor.
Well, Donald does leave little Jesuses
Yes.
around the club, which is kind of funny and awesome at the same time. But people are going to find something to hate. But then the same person, then other people actually say like are annoyed like our club is too like sexual and they call us a swingers club and I'm like, what do you want us to be? I'm like, we're just trying to
maybe
like,
it's the lighting.
us.
It's the lighting.
It must be.
It's
So
the
I'm like,
lighting.
or the way Tia's dressed or like, she needs to dress more like a crap.
It's the peach farm.
It's
okay?
the peach farm. Sorry,
It's the peaches hanging.
Well, she has a chapter in her book. It says, "I love Jesus, but I cuss a little," and it's literally about the passion that I think a good, properly placed cuss word sometimes just activates him and also pisses you off. But I love it.
Just get them going.
That's right.
I want to talk about one more thing. Your school. Mm-hmm. Please tell the story. That is like
a perfect story to end with.
I just think it's so cool, and I just want you to share that.
Thank you. Matt, again, identify an area of place of pain and make it your place of reign. I had my kids in the best Christian school here in Scottsdale 8 years ago. And I'd found that, I don't know, we were growing. Again, one of those things, and I'm like, man, what's wrong with this school? I'm paying a lot of money. What's wrong with their teachers? And nothing's wrong with them. They're a typical Christian school. They're they're doing their job. They are preparing my girls to be good little Christians and also good little employees because they're good little employee teachers. And I love the education system. I love teachers. You guys, I have now learned you guys work harder than anybody. You deal with a lot of crap. I bless you. I honor you. But some of you I'm going to call you higher. Some of you are stuck. You're playing small. Maybe you need to step out and into a new role. Maybe you need to teach and educate in a different way, not just formal education. Some of you are doing exactly where, and what you're supposed to be doing. But Dave, I have discovered that we had a pain point. We took our kids to Israel to see the Holy Lands for spring break. So we were traveling, I'm speaking. My kids are traveling with us. We're taking them out of school. Yeah, just get your homework done. Come on, girls. Well, we go to the Holy Lands. We come back on a Sunday night. We get them into school the next Monday morning. They're tired. They're jet lagged. They're young. I'm like, okay, got them into school. Check the box. I get an email from the principal about 11 a.m. Hey, Mr. Wood, both of your girls' teachers have reported the girls have both fallen asleep in class and neither of them had their homework done. And also, we were meaning to get a hold of you anyway at some point, but you guys have missed more school than anybody in the school. And if you continue to miss this much school, ultimately we do have to report our numbers to the state as if like we're going to get oh no, the governor's going to send us an email. Like these are our kids. These horrible child abuse parents that take their kids and take them to the Holy Lands. So I'm this righteous anger.
You're getting.
Oh, I'm wound. I'm
wound up.
reading this email. One of those that you're like, do not respond right now because it's just. I've now learned 24 hours. You do not respond to nothing. Pray about it. But I'm like, I'm gonna freaking pray about it. So I sat back. And I'm like, I can't do this no more. This is March, spring break.
No, what year? How long ago?
This is 2017.
Okay.
Spring break of 17.
Okay.
I'm like, can't do it to you. And I had this old partner of mine in Oregon, Angie, and she was always a dreamer. My kids went to her Christian school in Oregon. I called her up, and I'm like, Angie, do you know how to do an online school? She's like, no, but I'm down to figure it out. I said, well, I have the money and you know the people, you have the know-how. What if I funded it and you did your little online? I don't know what, I just know I can't do this anymore.
Right.
My kids need to be with me because we like to be when God says go, you don't have to check the school system.
Nope.
You don't have to check the calendar. I don't have to check with a job.
Let's go.
My boss. Let's go. And that September, we opened Valor Global Online with 7 students. My girls were 2 of them, 5 other people.
So 2017,
2018. September of 18, we opened Valor Global Online. And here's what's crazy. Dave Ross, my GM here at Hive, his daughter, him and Brooke's daughter, Tahela, who works there, she was one of our first students with Amaya. She was one of the 7. So it's just funny how, God works full circle. And we launched Valor Global Online that year, just like anything else. We struggled the first couple of years,
Sure.
And then COVID hit. And guess what? The world wasn't ready, but Valor was. We're like one of those, God, where are you? Where are you? Valor's not taking off. We're at 25 students our third year. Going into our third year, we're I'm just writing checks every month. I'm like, this thing's expensive. How much could an online school be? It's like, buy a camera, right? Oh, no, there's a lot of crap that goes into it. COVID hit. Boom, we went from 24 students to 100 in about 3 weeks. It buried our systems. But I feel like, you know what, Valor was on the map after COVID. Now, some people, COVID was a good blessing and a curse. Some people, their school did COVID school online and they weren't ready for it. And they're like, I would never do that again. My kids are so jacked up. But others, they were thinking about, they wanted to try it anyway. It was a perfect, like, well, now's the perfect to try. Our school is closed.
Right.
And then that really launched. And so we're in 42 of the 50 states. We have students attending from 7 different countries.
What?
We're a one-to-one school, so we have, meaning our Valor school supports a couple of schools in Guatemala, in Africa, in Kenya,
so cool.
and in the Philippines. And so I'm proud, I'm honored, I'm blessed, and it's a cool thing.
So how many students now?
We run about 200 students in the States.
Really?
So it's not huge, but it's perfect. I think
Yeah.
it's good. We would like to grow. And we have almost 1,000 students in our overseas schools because
What?
so if you send your kid to Valor Global Online here and you pay about $10,000 a year, that might be a little less than that, but 500 of that tuition goes towards our overseas schools. And for $500, you can send like 10 kids to school all year in Kenya.
Oh, that's cool.
And feed them and everything. Of course, then it's a write-off and stuff
Sure.
too. And so we're able to we have Valor schools in 3 to 4 other nations, and then of course right here in America. So it's pretty awesome, man. I'm
So cool.
proud of that work. I'm proud of my kids. My daughter was the first graduate of Valor Global Online, and that's Amaya, who's in there all the time. And then Caitlin is a senior. She'll graduate this year. And Phoenix, I don't know. He's a unique child, so I don't know if online's going to be
Well,
the right
he's
one for
9
him.
now. He's 9.
He's everywhere. So we'll see how
That was
it
cute
goes.
the other night. I'm 9.
Oh, he made that clear. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 9.
I've been 9 for, the last couple days.
That's
but
right.
I'm 9.
Yeah,
Love it.
So,
Well, Doug, thank you.
yeah, man.
And again, this is what happens when you meet people that are like-minded, and again, God puts us in crazy situations, and this is one of them on how we've connected over the time, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like to be able to have real conversation with a man,
Yeah.
and there's no BS.
No.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Man. Thank you.
So what's the big game plan? What's next for Doug in 2026? Anything?
Just because it's man to man, the 2024 and 25 has been the hardest year of my life. Opening Hive was the hardest thing I ever done. Also, my online health and wellness business, as we've went through a restructuring season, and so, man, I just feel like I'm out walking on stormy, choppy water, just a little bit like probably real estate. And I'm really grateful for the season because I've really had to trust the Lord again. And again, I made a lot of money, but it's also nice to kind of come back to be reminded who your provider is. And so the big plan is to take things from growth mode to then I want to do Hive with excellence, and I'm grateful that it would have buried us. It would have been buried us if we would have been at 1,500 members the first 4 to 5 months, like I thought we would. I actually thought we would fill up by like April or May, and I'd like have to shut the doors and be like, sorry, it's on a wait list only, and like this a little bit like, we're so great, and I think we are pretty dang good.
Hey, they're good.
We're doing a good job, but we wouldn't have been able to handle 1,500. And I know that
funny?
now.
Isn't that funny how, you've thought that, but then now you realize, that would have killed us.
It would have killed us. It would have killed me. It
then
would
you
have killed the
would've
team,
lost-
and we would have
you would've
lost
lost.
so many members. We might not be having this conversation just because you know what, business is business, life is life.
Sure.
So it's been a slow crockpot.
Yeah.
It's been a crockpot.
No microwave
10 months.
minutes.
But we have systems in place now to serve that 1,500. So it's now time
Let's go,
to
baby.
put the lever down and serve this city with excellence. And so, yeah, I'm ready to get to 1,500 and put a wait list together. But God also knows more than I do. So I'm just here for the ride and to fulfill my mission, fulfill his mission this side of eternity.
So what I'm hearing is all gas, no brakes.
All gas.
Let's
Oh,
go.
guys,
Baby.
I want to travel overseas again. T and I used to take a month trip every single year around the world with our family for like the last 8 years, and we didn't travel this past year. We
did.
worked, and I'll work as long as it takes. But I miss Italy and I miss Switzerland, so that keeps me motivated. Every entrepreneur, no matter how much money you make, you need to self-regulate with self-disciplines. Even if you can buy it, doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Even if you can pay cash for it, it doesn't mean it's the right time. So we have some new benchmarks in place of like, no, we'll know when we've earned the right again.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good. Well, again, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
If you enjoyed this podcast today, I want you to hit that like button. And again, please subscribe because every week we are going to be dropping an entrepreneur, the latest and greatest. Like, this is where I want this community to get to know us and know what we stand for. And as always, let's make it a great day.